Good evening. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News at America's Voice. Good evening to everybody. This broadcast is in English. I did one in Spanish earlier today. If you guys want to see the one in Spanish, you can go to my page and watch it. Para aquellas personas que quieren ver el segmento en español, pueden ir a mi página de Oscar el Blue y ahí verán mi segmento en español. How's everybody doing? Good evening to everybody. I wanted to talk to you guys about my point of view now that I've been receiving good messages about African Americans and, bad messages of African Americans. And these African Americans that I've been receiving good messages, they are people that they are not, they know the reality of the problem, that they know, that there's been a time where there was oppression. Yes, it was. But it's they understand that it's under our responsibility to move forward and to be the best that we can be. Like the Army says, be the best that you can be. And it is so upsetting, really it is, that I'm watching my live feed and I'm seeing an African American. This race that is so beautiful, race of African Americans, and I don't like to call them African Americans because they're Americans. They're just a difference of color, a little bit more darker than me. We're almost the same. And this is really upsetting. The thing that is really upsetting, I will tell you why. And I will explain to you why. In me, I can relate a little bit. A little bit. I cannot compare, but I can relate a little bit. And this is the number one thing. Why these new kids, this new generation C's, these new kids that they were born in the 2000s, then they were born in the 95, 96, 97s. Why are you bringing the 400 years of slavery right now? What has that have to do with abuse of power right now and brutality? What has that have to do? You're not going through slavery. You are not going through slavery. Why are you bringing that? And then the racist comments. There was an African American lady that went on my live feed and said, of course, you Mexicans, they're not saying anything because you guys build buildings. So you guys work for the white man. You guys won't say anything. My God. Whoo! My God. So because we pick tomatoes on the field, we don't have to say anything? You guys demanding, some groups, some radical groups are demanding for Hispanics to rejoin, African Americans. And it's about unity. And it's not only African Americans and browns and Asians, also whites. It's humanity against what do you call them, African Americans? I'm sorry. That's the name. People Diaz. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's the way that I'm supposed to call it. Americans, black Americans. Is that the correct way? Black Americans? And this, wow, man. It is ridiculous. Because it's about unity. It's against police abuse of power. It's against police brutality. It is against that. And not only a white cop is abuse of power, you have seen Hispanic cops. Man, I have seen, whoo, my God, I have seen Hispanic cops being aggressive with Hispanics. I have seen it. I have seen Asian cops be aggressive with Asians. I have seen white cops being aggressive with whites. But you had to make it a race issue. Because of the 400 years we have been oppressed. Do you guys want that excuse? Excuse me, do you want that excuse? Really? You want to talk about us? You want to talk about, being dominated as a race? You want to talk about that? Imagine me bringing how we were conquered as a race by Spaniards. Imagine me right now saying, oh, you know what? This is because we were conquered by Spaniards. And, they took away our race. They took away our culture, our beliefs. The greatest empire that existed on that particular time was the Aztecs. Imagine me putting every day the complaint and indoctrinating that same mentality to my son, and to my son to this other son, and this son to the other son. Imagine me indoctrinating and torturing my son every day. That is because of the Spaniards that they conquered us, and they took away our rights. They took away our history. They took away everything from us. Everything. I cannot overcome that. Because of that, I cannot succeed. Because of that, I cannot go and be the best that I can. Because of that, I cannot be a great Mexican. Because of that, I cannot be a great father. Because of that, I cannot get a job. Because I get discriminated. Because of that, I have seen, you guys are seeing it right now, but in Mexico, cops kill citizens in a normal day. Cops kill citizens. The last president, disgusting, awful, horrible president, Peña Nieto, he disappeared 43 students. Like that. And the government, what's its fault? And nobody was rioting, looting the cities. We protested. Yeah, there was an incident here and there, but we protested. What is this about? Making it 400 years that you guys been oppressed. You want to talk about years being oppressed? Our history goes way back when the Spaniards conquered Mexicans. We were oppressed. They took away our culture. They took away our women. They took away our gold. They took away our land. What are you talking about? You live in the United States. You have freedom. You have liberty. You feel oppressed? African Americans that go into my life feed feel oppressed? I will tell you about Americans, black Americans, that they have been successful because of huevos, cabrón. Huevos, eggs, balls. I will tell you why. Nearly every professional and amateur sport has an African American star athlete. In history, in the 20th century, Hank Aaron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, Arthur Ashe, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Will Chamberlain, Athleah Gibson, Reggie Jackson, Magic Johnson, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Sugar Ray Leonard, Joe Louis, Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali. Were they oppressed? Were they oppressed? No, they were not oppressed. Look at this. No survey of the 20th century American literature will be complete without major contributions from black writers. Maya Angelou, Ralph Ellison, Alex Haley, Lorraine Hansberry, Langston Hughes, Sarah Neely Hurston, Toni Morrison, Walter Mosley, Richard Wright. Were they oppressed? Was it about race? Was it about race? Their protest, was it about race? More. African Americans have advocated for civil rights since the earliest days of the United States. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X are two of the best known civil rights leaders of the 20th century. Others like black journalists Ida B. Wells, Barnett, Schooler, W.E.B. Du Bois paved the way with their own contributions of the decades. Ella Baker, Stokely Carmichael, W.E. Du Bois, Medgar Evers, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, James Meredith, Elijah Muhammad, Rosa Parks, Bobby Seale, Fred Shuttlesworth, Emmett Till, Ida Bell Wells Barnett, Walter White, Roy Wilkins. Were they oppressed? It's because you were oppressed. You got a riot. You got a riot. Another one, whether performing on stage in films or TV, African Americans have entertained the United States throughout the 21st century, like Sidney Poitier, Josephine Baker, Holly Berry, Bill Cosby, Dorothy Dandridge, Sammy Davis Jr., Morgan Freeman, Gregory Hines, Lena Horne, James Earl Jones, Spike Lee, Eddie Murphy, Sidney Poitier, Richard Pryor, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Oprah Winfrey. Where are they oppressed? Another one, innovations and advancements of black scientists and educational transformed the lives of 21st century. Charles Drew's work in blood and transfusions, for example, saved thousands of lives during World War II. Archibald Alfonso Alexander, Patricia Batt, Basie Coleman, David Croswick Jr., Mark Dean, Charles Drew, Matthew Henson, Mae Jemison, Frederick McKinley Jones, Percy Lavon Julian, Ernest Everett Just, Mary McLeod Bethany, Garrett August Morgan, Charles Henry Turner, Madame C.J. Walker, Booker T. Washington, Daniel Hay Williams. Were they oppressed? And, the last one that I don't agree with a lot of politicians, but African Americans have served with distinction in 3 branches of government. 3 branches of government in the military and in the legal practice. Thurgood Marshall, a leading civil rights lawyer, ended on the U.S. Supreme Court. Others like General Colin Powell and notable political and military leaders. Ralph Bunchy, Benjamin Oliver Davis, Minnie Joyce and Elders, Jesse Jackson, Daniel Sheppy James, Thurgood Marshall, Q.C. Mifune, Colin Powell, Clarence Thomas, Andrew Young, and Coleman Young. You got kids, these ignorant kids, that they are brainwashed, and you got all these successful African American, Black American people that they have served correctly, righteously, to put an example for the next generation to come. And you got blacks right now, kids, rioting and looting the streets. And you coming into my live feed and saying that of the 400 years that you've been oppressed, while Mexicans were conquered by Spaniards, and you don't see them telling every day, because I can't get a job because of the Spaniard. Mexicans getting killed in Mexico because of Spain. You don't see them doing that. But no, we are being brainwashed, people of color, by all these white activists. I'm sorry, but they are white. Antifa. And they are using you, and they're using us, Hispanics, that they're brainwashed. This Generation C with the victimization ideology. I'm getting hurt. I'm oppressed. Oh, you're hurting me. You're oppressing me. You are harassing me. All of this using you to go and riot and loot into the minority businesses. These groups, by Antifa, by BAM, by all of these organizations, using you to go damage your own community. It's not about color. It's about fighting the right system. Not all cops are bad. You gotta be kidding me with that. Do you saw the law enforcement in El Paso going in there, risking their lives and saving citizens? Do you remember 9/11? Do you forgot about 9/11, damn it? Do you remember the riots in LA? Not all cops are bad. The ones that are bad, bring them to justice. This is completely about ending police brutality and abuse of power. Not only because it's against Mexicans and my color of skin that is brown, and yours that is black, and the other one that is white, and the other one that is other color. It's not about that. It's about your country bringing justice to it. And everybody uniting together. And if you want to protest, grab the other person's hand and grab the other one's hand and march and tell everybody, we need justice. We want justice to be done. And we want it done peacefully. I'm tired of your victimization card. The 400-year card. All these successful black Americans, they have made it with your 400-year card. And Mexicans, we have made it also with our conquered. How they conquered us. The Spaniards, how they conquered us. They took away our leader, Cuauhtemoc. They took away our culture. They destroyed our pyramids. They destroyed our history. And we overcame that. And every year in our country, I'm not talking about yours, I'm talking about mine. Every 6 years we get a president that steps all over us in the neck and steals and steals and steals. And we are still here fighting. How come you not doing that peacefully and blaming it on 400 years? Tell me a reason. This guy doesn't know how it feels when he doesn't live in the U.S. I lived in the United States. You are going to blame your whole life on the 400 years? You're going to put the same mentality on your son and then on your other son and then on your other son? I just gave you successful black Americans that they have been an example not only for America but for the world. My God, the greatest example in sports, Muhammad Ali, humble and gave for his people. A greatest example in another sports, Arthur Ashe, in a white sport. He overcame all that. Martin Luther King. You guys don't know that we don't read your history? We read your history because we admire those people. And you got all of these young black Americans going right now and destroying their own communities when they're supposed to be right now defending their communities. God bless you all. As a person of color, as a Mexican, I will tell you, I'm with you against police brutality, abuse of power. My God, I'm with you all the way. Whew, I'm with you. I'm riding right here with you, man. You want to drive, you drive. You want me to drive, I'll drive with you. You want to kill your own businesses, the people that they have fought their whole lives to create a better living, I'm not with you. And to those Mexicans that they are looting and rioting and causing damages to the businesses in the United States, don't swing around our flag. That is Mexico. You don't represent the Mexican people. You don't represent us. That is a shameful representation. We don't damage people's properties. You should be ashamed of that. It's a time for unite. It's a time to be together. There is a time where our hearts need to collide and our feelings need to be the same. It is to fight the police brutality and abuse of power, but with this, the mind and the heart. Not with this. And we will conquer everything. Not blame it on the 400 years of slavery. Imagine me as a Mexican blaming the Spaniards for they were conquering us. No. We need to be more intelligent. You want to beat the system? We got to use this and we got to use this. Our ancestors worked really hard for us to have a beautiful future. Whether it was a right school, bad school, whatever school. Whether it was. Let's do it for that. Let's respect our communities. And let's pray and have faith that God will resolve this situation. And let's stop blaming something that is not happening in your time. God bless you all. Unite. Stay together, Americans. Fight together, Americans. Love each other, Americans. Unite right now, Americans. Grab your hand from the other one, American. Succeed, American. Defend your flag, American. And if you don't like your flag, love your man that will love your woman that is beside of you. Love your family, American. But always remember, peace and love, American. Because always your country is first. God bless you.